Alien encounters apparently happen all of the time, but have they been stopping by since the dawn of time? Welcome to Bumblebee, I'm Nate, and these are 10 ancient alien encounters that prove we are not alone. Number 10, the Dzal Lines. The Dzal Lines are a group of geoglyphs made in the soil of the Nazca Desert in southern Peru. They were created between 500 BC and 500 AD by people making depressions or shallow incisions on the desert floor. They were able to make these lines by removing pebbles and leaving different colors of dirt and soil exposed. In the years leading up to 2020, almost 100 new figures had been found thanks to the help of drones. The odd and mysterious thing surrounding these lines is the intricate designs that some of them possess. For instance, one of the Nazca lines, famously known as the monkey, is in the shape of a large monkey, spanning far and wide and appearing to be very well thought out. Like, it may look like a child's drawing, but considering the technology available at that time, it's a wonder how any kind of clear image was created. Many believe that they were not alone in these efforts. Ancient civilizations could have very easily been visited by extraterrestrials, and it would explain why some of these lines created clear images when some just look like long straight lines. Perhaps aliens were simply showing the people how to create these shapes and what they could look like when they are done properly. This would mean that any lines not creating an image is the result of someone being like, man, why doesn't the ground look like a dog yet? Number 9, Mesoamerican pyramids. There are a few pyramids that have popped up in history that make seemingly no sense. These monolithic buildings can span hundreds of feet tall and wide and have existed far too long to only be the work of the people at that time. Sure, when it comes to the ancient pyramids in Egypt, there is a decent explanation, but I'm not convinced aliens weren't involved in that either. For Mesoamerican pyramids, they were created similarly to those in Egypt, but are created with flat tops and stairs that ascend up the structure. Historians have pieced together that ancient Mesoamerica was fairly advanced in terms of its technological advances, hence the better looking pyramids. Take that, Egypt! The interior of Mesoamerican pyramids may hold the secrets to their original creators. The builders of these structures lined the walls with stories about hero twins. That is a messed up story, by the way. Feathered serpent, Quetzalcoatl, myths, sacrifices, all the fun stuff. Rituals are not something unique to ancient Mesoamerica, but the results of these rituals may have been these buildings. Perhaps they were sacrificing people to aliens that they viewed as gods. If someone came down from the sky in a giant metal disc, I think we would all bow down in one moment. Number 8, the Temple of the Feathered Serpent. The Temple of the Feathered Serpent is the third largest pyramid at Teotihuacano, a pre-Columbian site in central Mexico, and I'm sorry if I butchered that name. Probably did. In the 1980s, it was discovered that over 100 bodies were buried beneath the structure in what many people believe were sacrifices. The burials, along with the structure, date back to 150 and 200 CE and is named after the feathered serpent deity, which covers its sides. The feathered serpent is an astonishing sight, but many visitors feel that the structure may not be as man-made as we think. Adorning the outside of the structure are several serpent heads. Some are the deity, but they shift between this, a possible fire serpent, and what people consider to be a warrior serpent. These symbols have been debated about for quite some time, with some feeling that they are calendrical in origin, something about time, but others believe them to be more cosmological in scope, telling the story of a feathered snake god that helped to shape the structure of their civilization. Sure, in movies and TV, aliens are little green dudes with big bug eyes, but who's to say that they didn't look like giant snakes with feathers? Beneath this structure, not only did they find bodies possibly sacrificed in the deity's name, but they also found hidden tunnels and paths that were blocked off by large boulders. Eventually, the government granted archaeologists permission to actually properly dig around this area, and the tunnel entrance was unearthed. It appears to be a large cylindrical shaft, perfect for feathered serpents to slither through, I'm just saying. Number 7, Ice Age art. We're going to break down some more ancient artwork, this time from the Colombian Amazon. Fun fact about this place, unlike other drawings found on the ceilings of tombs across the globe, this canvas stretches roughly 8 miles long. The paintings are extremely impressive, dating back to 12,000 years ago, meaning that these drawings were made near the end of the last ice age. Thousands of paintings depicting various scenes and animals, more than the stickmen and arrows that some people are used to. The canvas was found in 2017, but it was only in the late 2020s when they went public with their findings. The findings being paintings of elephants, massive sloths, horses from the Ice Age, snakes, birds, deer, a detailed map of Disneyland's magical kingdom. You get the idea. Number 6, the Voage Manuscript. This manuscript is an illustrated codex, handwritten in an unknown script that cryptographers have coined Voicinese. Sounds very French to me, Voicinese. The pages have been carbon dated to the early 15th century and are believed to have been created in Italy during the Italian Renaissance. The strangest thing about the script is that in over 500 years, no one has been able to link these pages to any form of pre-existing language. Now, we can chalk this up to the devil and call it a day, right? Well, some theorize that these ancient texts may actually be some form of alien language. The pages of the book are filled with symbols and letters that just don't make sense as being a pre-existing language. Alien life honestly makes more sense and brings us more comfort. I would much rather know that there is a book written by a Martian than by some form of ancient evil. Granted, I could be wrong and it could be an ancient recipe book, but who knows? Number 5, Tomb KV-55. Located in the Valley of the Kings in Egypt, Tomb 55, otherwise known as KV-55, was discovered by Edward Ayrton back in 1907. The reason we call this tomb by a number instead of a name is because most people really don't know who or what is in it. Even the walls inside are nothing like other tombs covered in ancient hieroglyphs, tipping the reader off to the noble history of the king that lies before them. No, that doesn't exist here. The only hint that researchers discovered is a single hieroglyph, and it translates to, "The evil one shall not live again." This leads people to believe that these massive stones were placed as a measure to keep something out and away from them. Usually with these ancient tombs, it's the opposite. The description for who's inside of this tomb has also been destroyed, so we have no idea who's in KV-55 or what. Many believe it's Akhenaten, and back then they didn't believe in multiple gods, so it was just one. Akhenaten got on the wrong side of the high priests, and over his 17 years of ruling, he was convincing everyone that their art and religion was wrong, and that the only god in existence was a sun god. His own son, King Tut, succeeded him and luckily restored the previous religion, but maybe this sun god was passing knowledge to him, or, he just liked staring at the sun, or maybe it was aliens? Maybe, who knows? Number 4, Dark Age tombs. Looking back to the Dark Ages, in Shamir Heights, northern Israel, this tomb is very large. It's made up of 400 tons of boulders and stretches 65 feet wide. This burial chamber actually goes back 4,000 years, and it could mean that humans were part of an organized society even way back then, especially considering the art they found on the ceilings inside of the dolmen. This is the first time art has been documented in one of these chambers in the Middle East, and we haven't quite figured out what the ceiling carvings depict yet. So far, they're believed to be carvings of arrows or anchors. Inside the actual grave, there were 3 sets of human remains, so it had been a busy spot back in the day for sure. While excavating the ancient grave site, archaeologists also found colored beads possibly used in some kind of a sacrificial ceremony. One of the most intriguing parts of this grave has to be the lines carved into the ceiling. All of the lines connecting create one arc. Creating something like that would take a long time and a lot of effort, unless you have a gravity beam. Number 3, the Holy Trinity. The Paracas Candelabra is a mysterious geoglyph located in the Paracas Peninsula in Peru. It is a large figure carved into the side of a hill, measuring over 180 meters in length and visible from the sea. The geoglyph depicts a candelabra-like figure with a central stem and 3 branches extending outwards. Some see a candle, I see a cactus, aren't brains fun? The exact age and purpose of the Paracas candelabra remains unknown, but it is believed to have been created by the Paracas culture, who inhabited the region from 800 BCE to 100 BCE. To summarize, it is very old and nobody really knows how or why it's there. The Paracas candelabra is now considered to be an important archaeological site and cultural landmark in Peru, attracting tourists and researchers who are all, of course, intrigued by the history and symbolism. Considering its placement, it would make sense if this was some kind of ancient lighthouse meant to help ships steer that, or some kids got bored and had a lot of free time on their hands. Number 2, the Atacama Giant. This massive geoglyph is located in the Atacama Desert in Chile, and again, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. This ancient carving kinda looks like something that one would draw in a kindergarten class on the side of a hill though. It is a large human-like figure measuring 86 meters in height and is believed to have been created by the pre-Columbian people who inhabited the area over 1,000 years ago. The figure's arms are raised and his body is decorated with symbols and designs that are thought to have religious or astronomical significance. I can't imagine how freaked out the first person to stumble across this thing was, good lord. The purpose of the geoglyph remains a mystery. Perhaps someone was trying to communicate with the stars. The geoglyph is speculated to have been used for astronomical observation or as a spiritual symbol. Today, the Atacama Giant is considered an important archaeological site and a cultural landmark in the region. But I don't know, it feels like someone was trying to get someone's attention. And at number 1, stone circles. The Middle Eastern stone circles are a collection of ancient structures consisting of standing stones in, you guessed it, the shape of a circle. They're found in various parts of the Middle East, and again, an incredible amount of work was required to coordinate these geoglyphs. The stone circles are over 5,000 years old and were likely used for religious or astronomical purposes. Researchers have agreed that there must have been some sort of leader or head architect involved in order to make these circles happen. Perhaps an alien architect with a little alien hard hat and reflective vest. That'd be cute. Experts believe that they could have been used to herd wild animals, or the stone circles could have been used in ceremonies after people passed away. Those are signs that aliens have been here before. Do you believe in other worlds among the stars? Well, let us know in the comments below, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and follow our channel for more fun each and every day. Thanks for stopping by, Bumblebee, and we'll see you next time.